The core issue? Trump invoked the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977, declaring a national emergency over trade deficits and drug trafficking, and used that to impose tariffs on imports from dozens of countries. Supporters argue that the president has broad authority over foreign trade and national security. Critics insist that it's Congress, not the president, that has the constitutional power to set tariffs, and that IEEPA doesn't authorize such action. Today, the Supreme Court of the United States is preparing to rule on one of the most consequential cases in recent years, a challenge to the sweeping tariffs imposed by former President Donald J. Trump. These tariffs aren't just about trade, they're about the boundaries of presidential power and the role of Congress in shaping U.S. economic policy.
Why is this case so important? First, the economic impact. If the tariffs are struck down, the U.S. government could owe tens of billions of dollars in refunds to companies that already paid the duties. Second, the constitutional principle. If the court upholds Trump's move, it could set a major precedent expanding presidential power over economic policy. And third, the global effect. Other nations are closely watching, since the outcome could reshape how the U.S. and the world handles trade and national security. Several groups are involved: small businesses, 12 states challenging the tariffs, and Trump's legal team defending them. Small business owners say the tariffs drove up their costs. One Texas candy shop owner said a box of white chocolate now costs $40 more because of new duties. Larger corporations, meanwhile, have mostly stayed silent, wary of political backlash or losing federal contracts.
The court will focus on three main legal questions. IEEPA authority. Can a president use emergency powers to impose tariffs by declaring a national emergency over trade or drugs? The major questions doctrine. Should Congress explicitly authorize any executive action with massive economic or political impact? Separation of powers. Does giving the president this authority undermine Congress's constitutional control over tariffs and trade? What happens next? If the court sides with the Trump administration, the tariffs stay, and the presidency gains an even stronger hand in trade negotiations. If the justices rule against Trump, it could mean billions in refunds, limits on executive power, and a major shift in how the U.S. manages trade policy. Even then, the tariffs wouldn't disappear overnight. Future administrations could try to justify them under different laws.